My spirit is broken, my days are quenched. I am marked for the grave. Mockers are all around me. My eye meets only their hostility, my guarantor yourself. Who else will put a pledge for me? For you have shut their minds to common sense. Therefore you will not let them triumph. Should people share with their friends when their own children's eyes are so sad? He has made me a byword among the peoples, a creature in whose face they spit. I am nearly blind with grief, my limbs reduced to a shadow. The upright are perplexed at this, the innocent aroused against the hypocrites. Yet the righteous hold on to their way, and those with clean hands grow stronger and stronger. But as for you all, turn around, come back. Yet I won't find a wise man among you. My days are over, my plans cut off, which I had cherished so. But they try to turn my night into day, saying, light is near in the face of darkness. If I hope for Sheol to be my house, if I spread my couch in the dark, if I say to the pit, you are my father, and to the worms, you are my mother and sister, then where is my hope? And that hope of mine, who will see it? Only those who go down with me to the bars of Sheol. When will we rest together in the dust? Bildad and Shuki said, when will you put an end to words? Think about it, then we'll talk. Why are we thought of as cattle, stupid in your view? You can tear yourself to pieces in your anger, but the earth won't be abandoned just for your sake. Not even a rock will be moved from its place. The light of the wicked will flicker and die. Not a spark from the fire will shine. The light of his tent is darkened. The lamp over him be snuffed out. His vigorous stride is shortened. His own plans make him trip and fall. For his own feet plunge him into a net. He wanders into its meshes. A trap grabs him by the heel. A snare catches hold of him. A noose is hidden for him in the ground. Pitfalls lie in his path. Terrors overwhelm him on every side and scatter about his feet. Trouble is hungry for him, calamity ready for his fall. Disease eats away at his skin. The first stages of death devour him gradually. What he relied on will be torn from his tent. He will be marched before the king of terrors. What isn't his at all will live in his tent. Sulfur will be scattered on his home. His roots beneath him will dry up. Above him, his branch will wither. Memory of him will fade from the land. While abroad, his name will be unknown. He will be pushed from the light into darkness and driven out of the world. Without son or grandson among his people, no one will remain in his dwellings. Those who come after will be appalled at his fate, just as those there before were struck with horror. This is how things are to be in the homes of the wicked, and this is the place of those who don't know God. Then Iov answered, how long will you go on making me angry, crushing me with your words? You've insulted me 10 times already. Aren't you ashamed to treat me so badly? Even if it's true that I made a mistake, my error stays with me. You may take a superior attitude toward me and cite my disgrace as proof against me, but know that it's God who has put me in the wrong and closed his net around me. If I cry, violence, no one hears me. I cry aloud, but there is no justice. He has fenced off my way so that I can't pass. He has covered my paths with darkness. He has stripped me of my glory and removed the crown from my head. He tears every part of me down. I am gone. He uproots my home like a tree. Inflamed with anger against me, he counts me as one of his foes. His troops advance together. They make their way against me and encamp around my tent. He has made my brothers keep their distance. Those who know me are wholly estranged from me. My kinfolk have failed me, and my close friends have forgotten me. Those living in my house consider me a stranger. My slave girls, too. In their view, I'm a foreigner. I call my servant, and he doesn't answer, even if I beg him for a favor. My wife can't stand my breath, and I am loathsome to my own family. Even young children despise me. If I stand up, they start jeering at me. All my intimate friends abhor me, and those I love had turned against me. My bones stick to my skin and flesh, and I have escaped by the skin of my teeth. Pity me, friends of mine, pity me, for the house of God has struck me. Must you pursue me as God does, never satisfied with my flesh? I wish my words were written down, that they were inscribed in a scroll, then engraved with iron and filled with lead. They were cut into rock forever. But I know that my Redeemer lives, that in the end he will rise on the dust, so that after my skin has been thus destroyed, then even without my flesh I will see God. I will see him for myself. My eyes, not someone else's, will behold him. My heart grows weak inside me. If you say, how will we persecute him? The root of the matter is found in me. But you had best fear the sword, for anger brings punishment for the sword, so that you will know there is judgment. Tzfar and Naamati replied, my thoughts are pressing me to answer. I feel such an urge to speak. I have heard reproof that outrages me, but a spirit past my understanding gives me a reply. Don't you know that ever since time began, even since humans were placed on earth, that the triumph of the wicked is always short-lived, and the joy of the ungodly is gone in a moment? His pride may mount to the heavens, his head may touch the clouds, but he will vanish completely like his own dung. Those who used to see him will ask, where is he? Like a dream, he flies off and is not found again. Like a vision in the night, he is chased away. The eye which once saw him will see him no more. His place will not behold him again. His children will have to pay back the poor. His hands will restore their wealth. His bones will be filled with the vigor of his youth, but it will join him lying in the dust. Wickedness may taste sweet in his mouth. He may savor and roll it around in his tongue, but he may linger over it and not let it go, but keep it there in his mouth. Yet in his stomach his food goes bad. It works inside him like a snake venom. The wealth he swallows, he vomits back up. God makes him disgorge it. He sucks the poison of asps. The viper's fangs will kill him. He will not enjoy the rivers, the streams flowing with honey and cream. He will have to give back what he toiled for. He won't get to swallow it down. The degree that he acquired wealth, he won't get to enjoy it. For he crushed and abandoned the poor, seizing houses he did not build. Building his appetite would not let him rest. In his greed, he let nothing escape. Nothing is left that he did not devour. Therefore, his well-being will not last. With all needs satisfied, he will be in distress. The full force of misery will come over him. This is what will fill his belly. God will lay on him all his burning anger and make it rain over him into his insides. If he flees from the weapon of iron, the bow of bronze will pierce him through. He pulls the arrows out of his back. The shining tip comes out from his innards. Terrors come upon him. Total darkness is laid up for his treasures. A fire fanned by no one will consume him, and calamity awaits what is left in his tent. The heavens will reveal his guilt, and the earth will rise up against him. The income of his household will be carried off. His goods will flow away on the day of his wrath. This is God's reward for the wicked, the heritage God decrees for him. Then Iov responded, listen carefully to my words. Let this be the comfort you give me. Bear with me as I speak. Then, after I have spoken, you can go on mocking. As for me, is my complaint merely to other people? Don't I have grounds for being short-tempered? Look at me and be appalled. Cover your mouth with your hand. Whenever I recall it, I am in shock. My whole body shudders. Why do the wicked go on living, grow old, and keep increasing in their power? They see their children settle with them, their posterity assured. Their houses are safe with nothing to fear. God's rod is not on them. Their bulls are fertile without fail. Their cows get pregnant and don't miscarry. They produce flocks of babies, and their children dance around. They sing with tambourines and lyres and rejoice in the sound of the pipe. They spend their days in prosperity and go down to the grave in peace. Yet, to God, they say, "Leave us alone. We don't want to know about your ways. What is Shaddai, that we should serve him? What do we gain if we pray to him? Isn't there prosperity ahead of theirs? The plans of the wicked are far from me." How often is a lamp of the wicked put out? How often does the calamity come upon them? How often does God deal out pain in his anger to make them like straw in the wind, like chaff carried off by a storm? God lays up for his children, God lays up for their children the punishment for their iniquity. He should lay on it the wicked themselves, so they can feel it. Let their own eyes see their own destruction, and themselves drink the wrath of Shaddai. What joy can they have in the family after them, given that their months are numbered? Can anyone teach God knowledge? After all, he judges those who are on high. One person dies in his full strength, completely at ease and content. His pails are full of milk, and the marrow of his bones are moist. Another dies with embittered heart, never having tasted happiness. They lie down alike in the dust, and the worm covers them both. Look, I know what you are thinking, and your plans to do me wrong. You ask, where is the great man's house? Where is the tent where the wicked one lived? Haven't you ever questioned travelers? Don't you accept their testimony, that the evil man is saved on the day of disaster, rescued on the day of wrath? So who will confront him with his ways? Who will repay him for what he has done? For he is carried off to the grave. People keep watch over his tomb. The clods of the valley are sweet to him. So everyone follows his example, just as before him were countless others. Why offer me such meaningless comfort, or your answers only the perfidy remains? Next, Eliphaz and Temani replied, Can a human be of advantage to God? Can even the wisest benefit him? Does Shaddai gain in your righteous? Does he profit if you make your ways blameless? Is he rebuking you because you fear him? Is this why he enters into judgment with you? Isn't it because your wickedness is great? Aren't your iniquities endless? For you kept your kinsmen's goods as collateral for no reason. You stripped the poorly clothed of what clothing they had. You didn't give water to the weary to drink. You withheld food from the hungry. As a wealthy man, an owner of land, and a man of rank who lives on it, you sent widows away empty-handed and left the arms of the orphans crushed.